Good morning and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. It is a New Year's Day. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a good one. You know that Free Daily Coaching is broadcast Monday through Friday. And on Fridays, I have the honor of being the person that gets to host. During the week, though, Monday through Thursday, Mr. Burt Bledsoe does a job of leading us where we need to go to get results in our businesses. Good morning, Whitman. Can I bring you over? Let me know in the chat if you want to come over. I hope everybody had a very nice New Year's Eve. I had a very quiet one. My most exciting part was I turned on Las Vegas news at midnight and watched their fireworks, which was always very interesting. All right, Whitman, I'm clicking on you right now. And you went away, so I assume you're on your way over. I thought we could maybe talk a little bit today about what went on in 2015, what went right with your business, what worked for you, and for the most of the year, I was in learning mode, and I didn't take too much action until towards the end, and now I am in total action mode, which is always very nice. I'm trying new things every day. I am talking to more people, and I love it. So what did you do in your business? Let me know in the chat. I'm hoping Whitman will be in here pretty soon and he can tell us what he did in his. I know that in order to make a difference in your business, you have to take action. That's all there is to it. You just have to take action. And it's really easy to fall into the just learning mode. I have notebooks full of notes, and like Ray Higdon calls them uncashed checks. Well, I have a lot of uncashed checks here, which I will put to good use in 2016. I'd like to hear a little bit, whether in the chat or if you want to come over here live, what you did in your business. Hi, Shelley. How are you today? Mississippi. How's the weather in Mississippi? Did you have a nice New Year's? This really is a free-for-all Friday because it's New Year's Day, and maybe a lot of people aren't up this morning. And I don't know what happened to Whitman. He's out in the nethers somewhere. Shelley, would you like to come across? There he is. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you? Happy New Year.
You too. You too. That's good to hear. Oh yeah. Well, I went the day before, Shelley, to see the Star Wars. Shelley, would you like to come across over here and talk to us? Is that a dog I hear?
Yes, my dog. She's
What kind is she?
a pit bull.
All right.
Let me get my settings right.
Sounds like she wants to get up on your lap.
Yeah, she wants to do something and she comes at the worst time.
I've got mine laying right next to me on pillows in the drawer. Okay, Shelley, I clicked on you and you went away. So I assume you're on your way over. So Whitman, what worked in your business in 2015?
Consistency. I would say that's been the major kicker. To be consistent, to stick with it, stick with it, stick with it.
Yeah. Hi, Shelley. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. I was going to put my headset on, but I guess I don't need to. Yummy.
Yay. And I don't hear any echoes anywhere.
Oh, good. Yay.
Yay. So, Shelley, what worked in your business in 2015?
Really just promoting, and I'm still actually building. I started my business in, I guess, about maybe November of 2014, so I'm a little over a year old. And it came about because in June of 2014, I had an amputation of my right leg above the knee. And I was previously a high school biology teacher, and it became obvious after the amputation that I wouldn't be able to go back into the classroom for a while. So I decided to put some other skills to use and start an online business. So I've actually created a couple Udemy courses. I've got some Fiverr gigs. And I've also got a business where I build mobile applications for businesses, but I also have an online service where if you don't know how to build mobile applications, you can actually use my service to build the mobile applications without having to know any programming experience or coding experience.
Wow.
So that's the one I'm focused on the most, is to grow that business. So I've actually created a coaching program. I think one of the issues I'm seeing is people are afraid to jump in because it's scary. I keep reassuring them there's templates, and all you do is pull the template in and change a couple things, and then you're ready to publish. But I think it's too scary for them. I'm a very motivated learner, but I think I'm unusual. People like to just click a button and go.
Yeah.
And so what I decided to do is put together a complete 52-week coaching program, so that those people that do want to start an application business and they're not sure, they can actually go into the coaching program, and I'll guide them into starting and building that business for a year.
All right.
So that's going to probably launch in February.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I'm excited about it.
Well, it sounds like you've got a lot more technical skills on the computer than I do.
I have maybe a lot of technical skills, but in other areas I'm severely lacking. I'm a terrible cook, which is actually hilarious because I've actually published 4 cookbooks on Amazon. What I've done is I've actually had 5 children, and I was again a terrible cook. So I've really excelled at the what I call the dump and go recipes, where you just dump a little bit of this and dump a little bit of that. And I hate standing at the stove and cooking, so it's either dump it and go or somebody else is going to cook.
There you
So
go.
over the years, I've kind of collected these things, and when I was off with my amputation, I thought, man, that would be a great cookbook. That was just another idea that came to my head. So I started compiling them and spending time in the kitchen, kind of refining them and trying to minimize the ingredients, and did a lot of experimenting on my husband, and actually came out with 4 cookbooks.
All right, that's awesome. Well, I can tell you're
I've
very
been real busy.
motivated. Look at your puppy.
I know. He's so funny. He was so scared last night with all the fireworks going off, and so he's been like right by my side. He won't go anywhere this morning.
He's adorable.
He is really cute. Nobody likes him because they say he's very needy, but I actually love that because, you know, when you have a puppy dog, you want your dog to need you and love you. So his name is Scrappy, and he's a really sweet dog.
He looks like a sweet dog. Hi, Scrappy. Hi, Scrappy.
Scrappy.
He's pretty spoiled.
Yeah, I've got one laying here in the drawer. I opened the drawer and put 2 pillows, and then she's not right on my lap.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She's just as needy as your dog.
Aren't most dogs, though? There's very few dogs that are not needy. It's the cats that are the ones that walk around going, you don't own me, I own you.
That's true. Cats are more aloof, that's for sure. But I
For
like
sure.
cats, too.
Yes, I'm a huge animal lover, and when I was teaching my biology class, my classroom was actually known as the zoo because I had all kinds of animals in the class. We actually had a couple of slider turtles, and we had another tank that had a snapping turtle. We had a huge bullfrog that we kept, and I had a fish tank with about 100 guppies, and we would actually watch them during the year because very few fish do live births, but guppies are one of them that do live births, so we would watch that. And then we also had a tank with a goldfish in it named Chico. They voted on the name and named him Chico, and Chico was trained every year. And so we would teach the goldfish how to swim through a hoop and how to put a basketball in a basketball goal. It was actually really cool. The kids, every year, that was a big deal. My former students would tell the new students, oh, wait, you'll get to train a goldfish in Miss Turner's class.
All right. What age group were they?
It was high school.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty neat.
sounds
I
like
definitely
you-
miss my classroom.
Sounds like you made it very interesting for them. Well, now you're going to have an online classroom.
That's right. That's right. I've transferred a lot of what I did in my classroom to online. In fact, before the amputation, one of the things I did was I did something called a flipped classroom, where I actually videotaped all of my lectures, and I wrote a grant to get Kindles in my classroom. And what I did was, in the classroom, the kids brought their headsets, their earphones, and they would actually watch the lectures in class. And then while they were watching the lectures, they would fill out guided notes. So the notes would be filled out for them except for certain spots, and they had to finish filling them out by watching the videos. And what was cool about it is they worked in groups doing this, and I could actually put them in groups according to their abilities. And the ones that learned really fast could fly through the videos and start helping the ones that were slower learners. So we had a really dynamic situation in our classroom, and it was very interesting learning going on. And my kids were always the highest scorers on our state test in biology.
Cool.
It was really neat. You can tell I miss it terribly, but I'm redirecting all those things to online business. So
You couldn't be an online teacher?
Yes, I do that actually. That's another thing that I do. It's still not as engaging though as being in the classroom and with those kids and interacting face to face.
That's true.
I absolutely love my students, and what's really cool about it is while I was a teacher, our school actually threatened to go after our license if we Facebook friended any student, and so I couldn't. Getting to know a student outside the classroom was really hard to do. But as soon as I had the amputation and realized I wasn't going to be able to go back to work, I friended all my students, and I've had a ball on Facebook with my students and getting to know them outside of the classroom. It's been really fun.
That's great.
So what kind of businesses are you guys in, and what are you planning for 2016?
I am mostly an affiliate marketer.
Oh, nice. Have you done anything with JV Zoo?
I am getting into that.
Oh, nice. That's actually one of my courses on Udemy is actually how to use JV Zoo as a seller instead of an affiliate.
Well, I ought to look for the course in there.
Yes, it's called JV Zoo Mastery, and it basically teaches you how to use private label products to be able to post up there on Udemy as your products and get other people to sell it for you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I will definitely look for that.
Okay. Awesome. And look for your discounts too, because Udemy's doing huge discounts. And I think right now it's a $97 course, and I think you can get it right now for $10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a big discount.
It is. You're
Well,
right.
Shelley, this is Whitman.
Hi, Whitman.
You're muted, Whit.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing this first day of 2016?
Doing great, great.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. It's so nice to see your happy face.
Yes, thank you.
You're in Tennessee, right, Whit?
I'm in the eastern corner of Tennessee, southeast.
Oh, wow.
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
So you're about an hour away from me
Where is that?
in Batesville, Mississippi.
Oh, okay, so you're looking at the news, watching the flood issues too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Can you believe this weather?
Tell me about it.
It's been the craziest Christmas ever because we literally went out Christmas Day in shorts. It was that hot.
Yeah, I saw a frog on Christmas Eve.
Oh my gosh.
Frog jumped in my swimming pool, and
that poor
thought
frog
something
is
was
probably
wrong.
it's probably jumping around going, "What the mess? What is going on? I'm supposed to be dormant right now."
Yes, I was shocked.
That's funny. Well, you know, my daughter lives in New Mexico, and they came over for Christmas with their baby, so I got to spend Christmas with my precious little grandbaby. And they headed back the day after Christmas, and they got hit by a blizzard. And so we went from shorts on Christmas Day to them being in a blizzard the next day, and they actually couldn't get home. They had to stop at a hotel. They ran off the road because they couldn't see the road, and they were taken to a hotel and had to spend about 3 days in the hotel until they could get home.
Wow.
Is that not the craziest thing?
That is.
I was so glad when they got home and were safe.
Where were they when they got stuck?
They were about an hour away from their home in Clovis, New Mexico.
Okay.
So it's right at the Texas and New Mexico border. So they were just inside of Texas, not even an hour away from their home, and they could not get to their home.
Right. And you notice that Texas actually was like split right down the middle.
Yeah.
The eastern part of Texas was the snow, and
Yep.
the western side was the storms and tornadoes.
And the tornadoes, right. Right. Well, we in Memphis and Batesville were really blessed a couple weeks ago when all those tornadoes missed us.
Yes.
I mean, they were all around us, and
Yeah.
Holly Springs got hit really hard.
Really bad. Yep.
Yep. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy, crazy, crazy time for weather.
Yeah.
And I'm out here in the middle of the desert in California, and it's cold. I mean, it is
Is it
really
really?
cold.
How does
It's
it
not
get cold
supposed to
in
be
the desert?
cold here.
That is so funny that it's cold in the desert.
How does it get cold in the desert?
I don't know, but it's cold.
Okay.
Well, that's where my daughter lives, is in kind of the desert area of New Mexico. It's just about an hour from Roswell, and it's cold where they're at. It's staying below 32 degrees every day, and they've gotten some good snow and some ice, and of course they had that blizzard where they couldn't even get into their homes. So, and my daughter's from the South. I'm not from the South, so that kind of doesn't bother me at all, but. My poor daughter, she's just like, Mama, I've never seen anything like this.
My phone says it's 18 degrees.
Wow, that's cold.
It is for here.
Yeah. Yep. I have to say though that of the two, whether it be hot or cold, I definitely prefer the cold, just because, when you're cold, you can always put layers on and get warm. But when it's really hot, like in the South, there's only so many layers you can take off before it actually starts to become illegal.
Yeah. Shelley Whitman also in May judges a barbecue contest.
Oh, neat. You do the Memphis and May stuff?
Yes.
Neato. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I love me some barbecue. There's no doubt about it. I'm originally from the north, but I've been southernized because I love my barbecue.
Yeah. Great. Come on up. Yeah. Chris, come on over, and you can come up from Batesville.
Oh yeah, we do.
Amen.
We absolutely do.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
All right, I'm bringing Mario over. Now, Mario is a Jets fan, so I think he's in New York someplace.
Cool.
So he should be over here in a minute. Well, I love your energy, Shelley. And you're obviously an action taker.
Oh yeah, I'm one that I make a decision that I'm going to do something and then just plow straight ahead. Sometimes that's not a real good thing because I get blinders on and miss some things that probably I should have noticed on the way. But which is why I've been so successful too, because I make all the mistakes that you could possibly make.
And you document them, and then you can let people know.
Exactly. So when I turn around and help other people, I'm like, okay, you're going to run into this problem, so here's how to avoid it.
But Shelley, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you say that you put together mobile apps, how does that work with a website that's already mobile enabled?
You can actually build an application for an iPhone, which is, you've got the little icon and you push the icon and it opens up. And you can set it up so that all it does is open, if your web page is already mobile ready, it just opens up the web page into the mobile device. But what's great about it is they don't have to open up their browser and type in the URL. They can just tap that icon and they go straight to it. So that's actually a really easy one. I actually do that where they want a application for the phone, but they just want their website pulled in. That one's a super easy one to do.
Okay. How would their
just going to the
customers
page.
get that icon?
You would make it.
Okay.
Yeah, that actually is really easy too. There's a website, and I don't know the address because I have the link on my thing, so I just push the link, and I don't even pay attention to the addresses anymore. But you just build the picture, and it's just like a 500 by 500 pixel picture, and you make sure it's a good resolution, and you take that picture and put it in there in this online icon maker. I think it's called Icon Slayer, and it creates the icons that you need for the iOS app, for the Android app, and it creates all the different sizes that you need. Because you need a 512, and you need a 1024, and you need a 96 by 96 and a 72 by 72, because you're going to have the icon that appears in the store description, and then you're going to have the icon that appears actually on the phone. So you need all different sizes.
Do you
But
have
this
to
icon
register?
slayer. Do I have the what?
Do you have to register each one of those store? What I'm trying to say. For each icon that you create, do you have to register it with the supplier, so to speak?
No, actually, it's a free. Icon Slayer is free,
Okay.
and it's great because you just put your picture up, and it creates all of the icons that you're going to need, and you can change. You can make a border around it if you want to. It can be a round corner border. It can be square. I mean, there's a lot of manipulation you can do once you put your picture up in there, and then once you get it the way you want it, you download it, and it downloads all of the icons in one zip file.
Okay.
So it's super duper easy to use.
Cool.
Did
Shelley,
you get that? Yes.
this is Mario.
Hey, Mario.
Mario's in New York.
Hi, Shelley.
Hi. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. To
Happy
you and
New
the
Year,
pup.
Mario.
Hey, Whitman. Hey, Chris. Got a cold.
Oh, bless your heart. That's no fun to have a cold on New Year's Day.
Yeah, well, could be worse.
Yeah, I guess it could.
Excuse me.
So Mario, what are you going to do in 2016 that you didn't do in 2015?
I'm going to get rid of my cold.
Yay! Woohoo!
I have three major ones. One is the personal one, which is to get myself a lot healthier again, remove my cane and get rid of it and start, as I told Bert yesterday, to start walking and running. So I've been walking daily for the last month, so it's been pretty decent. Then the second, obviously, is to, by the time I get to the different two things that I do, my primary and my secondary, I meet the goals I want for those two conventions that I'm going to. And then personally, I want to be able to help a lot of other people. I did a couple this year, but I want to ramp it up. So to the point where, I'm maximizing and doing, let's say my goal would be, I used to work 90 hours a week and made good money. Now I want to be able to work 20 hours a week and match that same income. So that's what I'm progressing for 2016.
Yay. Those are awesome goals.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Now we need to do the actions behind it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just learning, because I come out of the mortgage field, so I know, 100 people a week gets me 20 grand a week. That was easy. I knew it. I could be put in any state. So I'm learning now how to do that here. This, venue. It's a different ball game now. And I'm not as mobile, so I'm learning how to do it via the internet versus physically doing belly to belly. That's something new for me.
Well, that's great.
That is great.
Can I be nosy? Why do you use a cane?
Well, the Sandy storm, I broke the let's see, T3 to T5 and the L5. So I have, it's like playing Morse code, if you're old military, where it taps on your spine and then my leg gives up and I fall. I fell 29 times last year.
Goodness.
So I'm either, I don't mind practicing survival skills when I was 20 in that year. I don't feel like laying in snow for an hour like I did last year several times. No. I have to either, I got rid of all the pain medicine because now I got involved with some health stuff. So that's helping me. And then now I don't want to do the invasive spine surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on other ways of doing it.
Wow.
So Hopefully it keeps me out of trouble.
Okay, shall we let me be a little nosy and ask you why you had to have your leg amputated?
Oh, I actually have a genetic condition. It's very rare. It's called Nail patella syndrome, and I'm probably the only person you'll ever meet that has it because there's so few of us. But as a child, I had a lot of surgeries on my right leg. The leg didn't bend, and they did a couple leg lengthenings, and by the time I was an adult, the leg still didn't bend, but the foot was fused. They decided to go ahead and fuse the foot, so it didn't go up and down or side to side. And I was able to rock on with it as a young adult and a middle-aged adult. But I'm not middle-aged anymore. I'm 49, and all of that started to creep up on me, and the bones started to thin in that leg really bad, and the knee joint, all the cushioning kind of went away, so the bones were rubbing together, and they were no longer round anymore. They were actually kind of squared off because they had rubbed together so much. It just caused incredible pain. And then the foot actually started to just break. So I'd be walking, and the foot would just break just from walking on it. So I was going to the doctor for that, and we'd been talking, my husband and I and my family, we'd been talking for like 10 years about wouldn't it be great if we could just go ahead and just amputate it. Well, when the foot started to break, I was like, we need to really talk about that. We need to put that at least on the table and talk about it. So when I went to my foot doctor and actually mentioned it to him, he goes, oh, no. You want an amputation for a broken foot? And I said, I need you to look at the big picture. Well, he refused it, and I don't blame him. Doctors don't want to do an amputation if they don't need to. It's a pretty big and pretty drastic move. But I fired him and went on to another doctor, and it took about probably 8 doctors before I finally found one that would just put it on the table and listen. And when I did put it on the table and he listened, we talked about it for quite a while, and he finally said, you know, I think you're right. I think that an amputation is probably the best option for you. And when I got that final confirmation that at least it was an option, and I actually went and found some more doctors and found 2 more that agreed that it was a good option. And I finally decided we're going to do it. We're going to knock it out. So I told one of them I'd like for you to do the surgery, and we had it done. And I was very, very happy. In fact, I was waiting to get nervous about it. You know how you can kind of pump yourself up, and then at the last minute you're like, well, I was waiting for that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And the morning of the surgery, I was ready to go. I'm like, take me back there. Let's cut this thing off. Let's get her done. And so I go into surgery, and when I wake up from recovery, I was sick for a little bit, and they were able to give me some medicine, and I was able to handle it. So I finally, got the sick to my stomach stuff under control. And the same nurse, a male nurse, kept walking by my bed in the recovery room. And every time he'd walk by, I'd say, hi, even when I had the bucket and was throwing up. I was like, hi. So he finally stopped by the bed, and he goes, did you have surgery today? And I said, I sure did. And he said, what did you have done? And I said, I had my right leg amputated above the knee. And he goes, no way. And I said, yeah, actually I did. And can you come here a minute? I need you to look at something for me. So he came over to the bed, and I said, I'm going to pull the covers off and look at my stump for the first time. And I just want someone here for, like, moral support. And he goes, okay. So I was like, all right, 1, 2, 3. And I pulled the covers off, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the cutest stump I've ever seen. And I thought he was going to faint.
That's awesome.
And my doctor walked in, of course, at that point, and he said, Shelley, are you torturing this nurse? So I haven't looked back. It's been wonderful. Best decision I ever made. It took me a while to get my prosthetic leg, who I call Murphy. Murphy is now almost a year old. I got him in the end of February of last year, and we've had some issues. Murphy rubs in some spots and, you know, causes some sores and stuff, so we're working all those out. But I've actually been, I started driving about 2 months after the surgery. It's funny because my right leg is gone, so I just flipped everything over and figured out how to drive with just my left foot, and that's working out just fine for me. And I actually returned to work 7 weeks after my amputation, but had to leave again after I got a bad MRSA infection in the open wound. So that delayed me getting Murphy for a while. But once I got Murphy, I just slapped him on and started walking, and actually have been doing great. I'm walking at least a mile now. I try to do it as often as I can. I try to do it every day, but it doesn't happen every day. And I've actually started jogging, which I did not do before the surgery. So.
Well, I love your energy.
My big goal actually is to do a 5K. There's a 5K coming up in February that I'm hoping that I'll be ready for. So.
Wow.
Yep. If I pull it off, it'll be a really big deal, because before the amputation, even as a teenager, I didn't run unless there was blood and children involved, and it had to be both. It couldn't be just children or just blood. It had to be blood and children for me to try to run, because I did like a hippity skippity hoppity thing. But now with Murphy, I can actually run as normal as I can with a prosthetic leg, and it feels pretty good. I've always thought that if I had a normal leg that I'd be a runner, and I do enjoy it a lot.
Cool.
Yep.
Well,
So I have
you
a lot of great things to look forward to in 2016.
yes, and I love your energy, and I hope that you'll come back to Free Daily Coaching again.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about it. I've actually watched some of the videos before, and I'm not real sure why I haven't jumped in and participated more. I guess just because I was so focused on other things, but I definitely need to jump in and get everything I can out of it.
Yeah, if you go to www.freedailycoaching.com, you can sign up, and then you'll be notified every morning.
Great.
And then you'll get to meet Bert, who is usually here, but I get Fridays. He gave it to me, and I'm not giving it back. All right. Any parting words, you guys?
No,
Well, just Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, and get on it.
Yep, I'm
And
ready
stick
for
with it.
action.
Absolutely.
Stick with it
Yep.
Don't let anybody discourage you.
and avoid those shiny objects.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty good at staying away from the shiny objects, but I think that's because of the blinders that I have. When I decide I'm doing something, it's just like I can't see anything else until that thing is accomplished. So I guess I'm pretty lucky in that respect. But don't get me wrong, I've still been pulled aside by those shiny objects.
Shelley, I got a question.
Yes.
JV Zoo.
Yes.
I received tons of emails from JV Zoo, based on the various products I've purchased in the past.
Mhm.
Do you get inundated with quite a few emails from JV Zoo? Just from them?
I don't really get a whole lot. I'm a seller. I'm not really an affiliate, and I think I might have bought 1 or 2 things off of JV Zoo, maybe. But as a seller, I get a lot of emails because I've got products up there that affiliates are asking if they can sell. So that's mostly the emails that I get from JV Zoo now, are notifications that an affiliate has asked if they could sell one of my products. And that, to me, that's a cool thing, because I don't spend a lot of time building products. I actually go and just buy some PLR stuff, and then I have the permission with the PLR stuff to change it however I want to change it and put my name on it. So I go through and make it me. I put my little spin on it, and change the graphics up and everything so it doesn't look like it did before, and then post it up there and let it rip, and just don't really mess with it a whole lot. So it doesn't take me long to get a product and get it up there and get it selling.
That's awesome. I get quite a few emails from them, Whitman.
Yes.
Probably 2 or 3 a day telling me about new products.
Yeah, same with me. And I think what I'm going to do is go in and kind of unsubscribe to the regular notifications from some of the owners of the products, so I can clear out my darn email basket, because I'm loaded with stuff.
I have too. Whitman, I think I have about, in my inbox right now on my iPhone, I think I have 40,000 messages.
Yeah. Whitman, you know what I do? I have a separate email that I use for junk or testing. So
Right.
that way it clogs up. I have 100,000 unopened emails in my junk mail.
Yes, you know exactly how I feel about. I love these people that talk about you have to get to zero email, email inbox. I'm like, that's so funny.
Well, I got 2,000. I usually average about 1,000 emails a day. So, but I have 19
Wow.
accounts.
Yeah,
You know,
I have a lot too because I have so many domains.
right. So, and the other thing is you should partner. I've had an account with them since 2011. So, and I sell products off them. It's better to be a person who does like PLRs, as you say, and redo it and then send it out, especially if you don't have the product. Like I'm experimenting with, MLSP. I'm going to do that, see if I can do it that way and comply with all the rules. Because there's certain products you can do and send out there. It's better than certain. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to actually say that I'm going to try something new that I could probably put together really quick. The JVZoo course that I put up on Udemy, I think I'm going to package that because it's actually I know I built it, but I think it's a pretty good course. So I think I can package that on a DVD, and I have the ability to create a pretty professional-looking DVD that when you put it into your DVD player, your DVD drive, and close it, it'll auto-run and open up a web page so you can choose which lesson you want to take. I think I could do that pretty easily, package it up, and put it up on Amazon. So I'm thinking about doing like a FBA.
Yeah, very good, because I did that with the foreclosure and the real estate investing when I trained.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did it go well?
Well, I mean, I was a mortgage banker and a real estate investor for 13 years. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I could go out there and I was an educator 15 years prior to that.
Oh, wow.
So
What
therefore,
did you teach?
mathematics and physics.
Cool. I taught high school biology.
There you go. Yeah, I failed that one. I didn't fail. I stopped the stupid experiment, and then I scooped it up and put it back in the tube, and obviously, and made up numbers, and they passed me, but they said I was creative.
I loved physics. Math is my next favorite. I would love to teach a math class, but I would have so much fun with physics. I mean, every once in a while in my biology class, we would learn about the periodic table of elements, and we'd learn about some physics things, but life science you don't learn a lot about physical science and life science. But the few things that we did learn, I had an absolute ball doing, and I was like, oh man, I would have a blast in a chemistry class or a physics class. So I've always thought if I went back to teaching, I'd try to get certified in those areas as well.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I was an adjunct professor, so it was nice. I mean, you enjoy it. I mean, I taught high school predominantly. I taught high school and college.
Nice.
So that was fun.
I haven't moved up to the college level yet. I have my master's degree, and I've almost got my doctorate. So I'm actually ABD for my doctorate. So that's the one thing I haven't finished while I've been off work and recovering from the amputation is the doctorate. So that's on my list to finish as well for 2016.
Well, attend any university because they're always looking for you.
Yeah, and science is such a critical shortage area right now in every level.
Mm-hmm.
Shelley, is the dog okay? He fell off the back of the couch.
Yeah, he's fine.
I thought he jumped off.
No, he fell off.
Oh,
Yeah, he's fine. He jumped back here a minute ago. He's just fine. Poor
Cool.
Scrappy.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna
well,
shut
Happy
it
New
down.
Year's and good luck, and thank you again for inviting me.
You're very
It was
welcome,
great
and thanks
talking
for
to
coming
all y'all.
over.
Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your first day of the year. I hope it's really awesome.
You
Yep.
too, Shelley, and thanks for coming by. I love your energy, and please join us again.
I sure will. I hope to see you
Yeah,
again maybe
nice
next
meeting
week
you.
on Friday.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Starting Monday. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.